One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.
Sunday morning, 4th of July weekend. With us today is Dylan Johnson, Assistant Secretary of State for Global Affairs. Well, Secretary Johnson, give us a report. You know, this is an important weekend, 250 years of our country. Give us the pulse of the situation. What the heck is going on?
Yeah, well, it's great to be with you, John. Look, we are so excited here at the State Department to celebrate this historic, accomplishment for the country. 250 years of American independence and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And, I think right now when we look out across the world, Americans can be very proud of what their State Department is doing and how they're being represented on the world stage. And, you look right now, one of the big things that's going on here in Washington at the State Department is our response, our historic response to the earthquakes in Venezuela. And we're really pleased with how things are going. I mean, Secretary Rubio called me within a few hours of the disaster striking, and he said he wanted to see a response that was big, that was fast, that was effective, and that's exactly what's been delivered. And just today, there's some breaking news that we have actually American search and rescue crews were able to pull out of the rubble after 8 days a Venezuelan who was trapped, and they found him alive, and he's in decent health. And so it's just a totally miraculous recovery, and it's a testament to the work that we're doing on the ground. And we're just so grateful to our partners in the military, the brave men and women of Southcom, our task force team. We have people from L.A., Miami, Virginia on the ground doing this incredible work. And I think they're really showing the best of America. And, we hear a lot about what it means to be an ally of the United States in this day and age. And I think right now we're demonstrating not only to Venezuela, but to the entire world that to be an ally of America means to have the greatest country on earth with the most resources and the most capability on your side. And China is nowhere to be found. Russia is nowhere to be found. Yet again, it's America who's, America first doesn't mean America alone. And we're demonstrating that in full force on the ground in Venezuela.
What I tell people is we want to keep the free world free. That's why I'm so disappointed in some of our allies in Europe, because we're the ones that are keeping the free world free. And nobody else has the capabilities of doing that. And, I try to tell all our European friends.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, what's happened on the ground in Venezuela is it's Southcom, it's the U.S. military who rebuilt the runways, who's working on the port and repairing that. They're running air traffic control operations for the entire country. Short of American leadership, the response that we've seen in Venezuela would not be possible. And so, we look out across the world, and the president and the secretary have been very clear with the Europeans about what we, hope for them. The secretary's speech in Munich was, we are tough on them not because we have a problem with them. We're tough on them because we love them. We love Europe. We want strong allies. And a stronger Europe and a stronger group of allies of the United States makes the alliance even stronger. It makes us better and it makes them better. And so it's something that we continue to focus on, and we're not going to stop until, we feel that our allies are taking their own security and are making these partnerships fair. And we're just so fortunate to have President Trump at the helm, who's really able to kind of bring in this new philosophy. And we've found tremendous success already in our work.
Are they realizing that they need the United States of America to be able to put things together? Because on their own, Putin will knock them off one by one. I mean, don't they realize that?
Yeah, I think what you've seen is with President Trump's focus on this messaging and on making clear that we're not going to be taken for granted, that we've seen a change. I mean, you've seen an increase in defense spending from NATO. You've seen, we're continuing to engage on the efforts as far as energy go and making sure that, they're setting themselves up with policies that don't hurt themselves. But we're hopeful. We feel good about how things are going. And, it's just really clear that no other president other than President Trump and no other secretary other than Secretary Rubio have been able to accomplish this. And to get these guys to take their own security seriously has been a big win for them and a big win for us. It makes our partnership stronger. It makes the world safer. And we're just really proud of where things are heading.
Greenland, we haven't talked about that lately. Are we in charge of defenses in Greenland now?
Well, the situation, we've obviously been engaging with our Danish counterparts on this to make sure that we come to an agreement that the president's been clear that he has particular red lines on that he wants to see certain national security elements met, and any deal will have to address the concerns the president has rightfully pointed out as far as what Greenland means for our national security. We've made a lot of good progress. We feel like we are getting close to having something to announce and a deal to be achieved there. But the president is exactly right. I mean, to have Greenland off of in our hemisphere, it has to have certain controls to make sure that we do not see an incursion of Russian and Chinese and otherwise malign influence in our own hemisphere.
The Arctic Ocean. Are we basically in control of situation, or we still have loose ends?
No, I mean, things are getting better. Things are looking more aggressive. It's something the president's been focused on. I mean, he's you haven't heard a lot talked about the Arctic until this administration, and President Trump has really made it a priority. And in the National Security Council under Secretary Rubio, they've been doing a lot of work to kind of make sure that American interests are protected there. And we, look forward to kind of having more announcements coming on that. But it's a definite priority. It's a frontier that we care about a great deal here in Washington. And we're hopeful that we're going to be able to kind of proliferate the America First successes that we've found elsewhere in the world to also the Arctic.
Now, let's go to Caribbean for a few minutes. I mean, we're going around the world with you because you are in charge of global affairs.
That's right.
Cuba. Last week on my show, we had the Cuban ambassador sending a message to the American people that they want peace and they want to have tranquility with our government. How are things going?
Well, things are going okay. I mean, look, the president and the secretary have been clear what they want to see out of Cuba, and we have a couple of issues. Number one, we are not going to tolerate a substation for communism, really the last foothold of the Soviet Union, just 70 miles off our shores. We're not going to allow them to pose any sort of threat to America's national security. We also have found that the oppression of the people on the ground in Cuba, it has been devastating, and it's something that is personally very important to Secretary Rubio, of course, and we want to see a change in leadership in Cuba, both for America's national security and for the future of the people in Cuba. And obviously what's taken place in Venezuela with Maduro has put us in a much stronger position to deal with Cuba because they're getting all of their oil and they're getting all of these resources from Venezuela, and that has effectively stopped because of the change in leadership in Venezuela. And so we'll see what happens. The president retains all options at any time to take any action he deems necessary. But we, want to make sure that our interests in Cuba are taken care of. And we've seen, over the years, they've funded left-wing violence and left-wing activism in America. There's a lot of issues with Cuba. But just generally, when you look at the Western Hemisphere, under Secretary Rubio, we have been wildly successful. We've had conservative leaders win in countries all over. Just this week, Peru certified their election. Last week, Colombia certified an election for the conservative candidate for president. We've seen kind of a remaking of the Western Hemisphere, and I think it's something that Americans really appreciate, that after decades and decades of kind of looking onward to the Middle East and to other parts of the world, we've neglected our own backyard. And under this president and under this secretary, the State Department is fully focused on cleaning up the Western Hemisphere and making sure that we're putting America first.
Understood. we went global. What countries do you want to talk about that we have missed?
I think, just generally, we're very happy with how things are going. I think, we've done so much when we look back over the last 15 months. And, the president's secured peace deals all over the world. And, we look at Israel and Gaza and the incredible feat that he was able to accomplish with getting the hostages out. We're continuing to work on that. You look at Azerbaijan and Armenia, India and Pakistan, across the globe, really, when you look at it and you look back at the last 15 months, I think Americans can be proud of the job that President Trump has done. And we measure success not by anything other than the wars that we stop. And a lot of these countries are nuclear armed powers, and so it's even more serious. And so I think across the globe, Americans can be very proud of the job that we're doing, and that President Trump is fulfilling his promise to put America first, to prevent World War III, and to keep Americans' interests safe no matter where they are on Earth.
I have one last question. Is Christianity? We have been protecting the Jewish communities and the Jews around the world, what we've done. And President Trump has went in to defend Christianity down in Nigeria. But there's more of a big global problem. Are we going to be addressing Christianity worldwide?
Absolutely. I mean, look, this is an issue that President Trump has raised multiple times. It's very important to him. You saw military strikes take place in Nigeria a few months ago on this very issue. Religious liberty, religious freedom worldwide is incredibly important to not only the president, but to this entire administration. I mean, Secretary Rubio is a man of deep faith. So we're committed to that, and it's something that we will not tolerate, no matter where it is the persecution of Christians. And so we'll continue to monitor, and we'll continue to watch and take action where appropriate. But it's a focal point of this administration, and it's really important. And when you look back at such a time as this, on our 250th birthday, I think it's the perfect time to renew this focus and make sure that we are paying attention to that problem and addressing it head first.
Secretary Johnson, thank you so much for bringing all the American people up to date on the 4th of July weekend. And God bless the United States of America. God bless all the people that defend it. And thank you for coming on this Sunday morning.
Thank you, John. God bless America.
God bless.